So this evening, y'all, I had a very random download. As y'all can see, I got my bonnet on. I was getting ready for bed, but then this download was heavy. And I feel like the ancestors is really coming through because it's time for us, especially us new earthians, if any of you are still experiencing any of these distortions of racism, of victimization based on the things that happened to our ancestors. Actually, you know what? I know exactly what triggered this, if you want to say that. It's because for some reason I was thinking about this old video I did, and it was a video I did to Dorothy Dandridge. And I remember at the time when I was researching some things in regards to her life, I kept seeing a lot of videos coming up, and Black women were kind of comparing her to Marilyn Monroe. And they were saying how Marilyn Monroe pretty much learned everything from Dorothy Dandridge. Like, she pretty much took everything that she knew from Dorothy, which may be valid, right? But my whole thing is, number one, they were friends, right? They actually were friends. I don't know if these women knew that. This is how Marilyn Monroe was able to borrow some of the things that she borrowed from Marilyn Monroe in regards to creating her persona. So I won't say it was necessarily destiny swapping. It's just at that time they were very close. So there are certain things that Marilyn picked up from Dorothy because they were both in the same business. But anyway, back to what I was talking about, a lot of people were comparing them. And I feel like the women that were comparing them were still somewhat in that racism distorted type of reality, right? Where many Black women are still bitter about injustices that happen with us, and just in general comparing one another. Like, once upon a time I was there, but I've let those distortions go. I'll be honest with you. At the end of the day, a soul doesn't have color. In fact, your soul has come back here as many different races, as different genders, as animals, as plants, as trees, you name it, right? So when you really look at it, race is so obsolete. Like, it really doesn't matter. That was just a distortion that was created a long time ago, for whatever reason, due to power constructs and different things like that, trying to control people, and different things of that nature, right? Supremacy. And this didn't just happen with like the Black and the white race. If you do research, this just happened with different cultures in general that would kind of create this inferiority. And it's time to let that go. It's time to let that go. Like, it's a much bigger scheme now. Like, we literally have alien beings. And I always say, like, what are we gonna do when, these blue beings come and these green beings come? Are you gonna then start like turning against them? Like, you know what I mean? It's kind of funny to me when I think about it. With everything that I know now, this is a part of why they're not showing themselves, because so many people are still stuck in such a small mentality. If you're still in that paradigm of black and white and all of this colorism and stuff like that, we have to let that go. But one of the things that was kind of shown to me, and it was kind of funny, because maybe the ancestors was coming through heavy with this. But it's like when it comes to Black women, and when you see a Black man dating outside the race, let's talk about it. I want to be sensitive about this topic because I understand our ancestors went through it. That's why I want to start this conversation by saying that we all need to have compassion for one another. Because because many of us are just bitter. We've learned these different programs. But I want you to understand something. I want you to understand something. When it comes to men, one thing that I've noticed, obviously being a Black woman, so I grew up in a, I guess you could say, traditional Black family, Black mom, Black stepfather. And I saw like my mom be very disrespectful. I mean, he was abusive and things of that nature. So there's that, right? But I witnessed a lot of toxic relationships within the Black community. Not just my family, but what I mean by toxic, right? Before y'all come for me. Women like disrespecting their men, openly in public, calling him out his name, you know, just disrespecting him, belittling him, making him feel less than a man. And this is something a lot of Black women don't want to take accountability for. A lot of Black women will be quick to judge a Black man when he dates outside the race. But have you ever thought to just stop and go and ask those women, like, real questions? Like, what is it that you're doing? Like, get curious about it. And the reason I'm saying that is because I kind of have an idea. A man doesn't really care about the color. I mean, there are some men who might still be in that colorist paradigm or whatever. But for the most part, a man cares about how you treat him. And the reason that a lot of Black men, let's talk about it, date outside the race is because of the treatment that they assume that they will get from other races. Now, some of them are in for a big surprise because they soon realize that race doesn't really matter, right? But many of them have an idea based on maybe what they see in society that they will get better treatment from other races. And sometimes this is true, right? Because a lot of other races, they were like brought up different. And this is where we have to have compassion for one another. Black men, you need to have compassion for Black women. Women, you need to have compassion for Black men. Because many of us just have relationships based on what we grew up with, based on what we saw growing up, you know, which was things that were passed on from our grandparents. And look, I couldn't really do the bonnet, you guys. Like, I'm just... But anyways, as I was saying, so they learned from their grandparents and so on and so forth. And so a lot of these things, they were just kind of passed down. You know what I'm saying? But I personally feel like, and Black men, feel free to chime in the comments, that the reason that a lot of Black men do date outside the race is because of the treatment. Because of the lack of respect. A man wants to feel like a man. You know what I mean? Like, he doesn't want to be belittled because maybe he's in between jobs, or you don't feel like he's doing enough with his life. Have you ever seen those situations where you have a Black man and he's not really doing well, but then he gets with a woman in another race, and all of a sudden bro is popping. Do you know why that is? Because she built him up. It's important for us as black women to stop criticizing and stop judging the black men for going outside the race, but start asking yourself why. Like, really, why? And newsflash is not just because of the color. It's not because of the color. It's the treatment. It's the treatment. And so when it comes to the black man, they want to feel like a king. If you look at other relationships, even Latin people, like the women, they treat their men like kings. The men, they treat their women, brothers, they treat their women like queens. They treat their women like princesses. Because I'm not just on here, I'm not coming for the women. This is something I see within the black community, an epidemic that has to be addressed so that we can keep our black families together as well. You know what I'm saying? Like, date whoever you want to date. But I'm just saying, if you want to date a black man, you want to date a black woman, that's cool. But we have to learn how to have healthy relationships. And the reason that you see so much of black men going outside the race, and even black women now going outside the race, is because of the treatment. And black men, this is where you have to also, have compassion for the black woman. Because remember, like I said, most of the things that we learned, like me personally, of course, I later on did my own research and, learned how to have a healthy relationship. But I never learned that at home. And many of us don't have good examples. All we grew up on was TV shows, right? And so we didn't really have good examples of how to be that feminine woman, which is what most men want. Even if they don't know it, they're looking for a feminine woman, because a feminine woman makes them feel like a man. And so, women, when you are in your femininity, right? Because we went through that whole phase of hyper independence. It's okay to be independent. I'm not saying that you can't be independent, but what I'm saying is allow him to be a man and don't belittle him when he is trying to be that man for you. Even if he struggles a little bit, support him. Find out ways that you can support him. Now, listen, I ain't talking about being his mama. I ain't talking about somebody who just laying on the couch, not trying to do nothing with themselves to just, carry him. I'm not talking about carrying a man. I'm talking about a man who is genuinely trying to become something, but maybe he's struggling a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I'm not talking about a man that's just sitting on the couch, not pulling his weight, not trying to better himself. I'm not talking about that. That's different. You have to be discerning. I'm talking about a man who wants better. You can hear it when he talks to you. You see him putting in the work. But maybe he's struggling a little bit. Maybe he got let go from a job. But don't put him down. Don't start belittling him because you feel unsafe. This is where you support him. You're supposed to be his peace. And if you can't be his peace, he gonna find a side piece. You know what I'm saying? He gonna find a side piece that bring him peace. or he just gonna leave, or he just gonna tap out. But if you want to keep him interested, if you want him to want to go hard for you, then you have to make him feel good. Encourage him. Build him up. I don't care what race he is. A man wants to feel like his woman builds him up. And so if you want to get the best out of him, then you see the best in him and start speaking that on him. Don't start calling him no good and all these other names and disrespecting him, raising your voice. Even if you are bringing in the money, even if you are the breadwinner for a little bit, don't disrespect him. And I saw this growing up. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I thought that was okay for a long time. It's not. You slowly tearing down his soul. And then get mad when he go over and dates a woman of another race who is actually building him up, who sees him as a king, who sees his value. And next thing you know, he's a completely different man. Different women bring out different versions of a man. Did you know that? Your trash is somebody else's treasure. But it all depends on what you see. If you see him as trash, then you're going to get trash. If you see him as a treasure and you cherish him and you appreciate him, then I guarantee you're going to see a different version. You're going to see a man who wants to be better for you, who wants to pull his weight. When it comes to the black men, I don't forget about y'all. A woman wants to feel safe. It's in our nature. As a matter of fact, we're supposed to feel safe. That's a part of the divine feminine energy. If you want to bring out that feminine side of her, she needs to feel safe. Emotionally, physically, and financially. Even if you can't provide the financial because maybe you're going through something, that means you need to pull the weight even more in the other areas. The emotional support. When she gets off of work, rub her feet, rub her back. You feel me? Don't just be all depressed like, oh man, I don't got a job and she got to, like, that's not helping. That's not helping. I guarantee you rubbing her feet, you rubbing her back, you cooking dinner, you pulling your weight, she gonna appreciate that. You're gonna see a different side of that woman. But now you got a woman and she's pulling the weight, she's the breadwinner, she got to worry about the bills. She is in her masculine energy. That's your job. Just in case you weren't clear about that. Because I know there's a whole lot of blurred lines going on with this independent woman era, and that's fine. But the woman, the divine feminine, is supposed to be sitting back, knowing that she's taken care of, flowing. It's not to say she's not going to bring any money into the home, but she's going to do it from a different place. Like we do it from a place of flow, play. We bring the play. In the bedroom, out of the bedroom, but we bring the softer side out of you. She's not going to be able to bring the softer side out of you if she always got to be hard. So understand, the reason that you're getting this bitter, upset woman, aggressive woman, is because she doesn't feel safe. She's in her masculine energy. Now, one thing I love about like the Latin culture is, man, they really take care of their women. And it starts from the little girls, which is something, I'll be honest, a lot of us black women don't have. We didn't have our daddies growing up. And so that's a big problem as well. But that's a different video, you know. But when it comes to their daughters and their women, they treat them like princesses. They treat them like queens. They spoil them. The women, they know they're taken care of. They know they can ask daddy for whatever they need. And that is so important for the feminine. It's okay to want to work, but she shouldn't have to. That's right. I said it. And when she does work, it shouldn't even feel like work. It's just her being in her feminine energy and creating. See, we are creators. That's why we have a baby out of our divine portals. We're creators. And we naturally create when we're in our feminine energy. But if she's in her hyper independent era, because she has to pull her weight and you're neglecting to make her feel valued, loved, cherished, and appreciated, then yeah, you're probably going to get the villain instead of the vixen. And many of you think that you can run to another race and, you know, get over on them, but then you have a rude awakening because women are women. We're not stupid. And they're going to figure out the game too. So if you just out here trying to get by, not pulling your weight, don't think you got to do anything in a relationship, then I got a rude awakening. You're not going to get the type of woman that you want. I don't care what race you go with. Because she's going to get tired of it. The divine feminine is not a color, it's not a race. It is an energy. And so this is where, like I said, you have to be compassionate, because for so long, we had to be in our masculine energy. Now, I don't talk about these subjects a lot because, like I said, I'm not in that paradigm. But one thing that I've come to understand is we all come here the way that we are for a reason. I came here as a black woman because the black race needed me. Needed me to shed light on certain things that I went through, things that I saw, things that need to be let go of and healed within our community. But the only way that we can truly heal it is when we heal ourselves. I'm speaking from a place of having let those things go, but now being able to see clearly because I'm not in it anymore. You understand what I'm saying? When I was still feeling like a victim, I couldn't see clearly. I just felt like the world was unfair. But that's not it at all. And if you start asking men why they date other races, I guarantee it's not going to have much to do with the looks. Because black women, you're beautiful. You are gorgeous. So don't ever think it's that. It's the energy. Men go where they feel appreciated. And men, so do women. So the way for us to start healing these relationships, number one, is respecting one another. Letting go of these images that television shows us. Letting go of these TV shows. I'm telling you, a lot of TV shows I had to like get away from. I ain't gonna lie. Like one in particular is the show Sisters. I love that show. It's a Tyler Perry show. But it's just so like toxic. And it's like literally my energy would just be all over the place when I watched that show. And I had to really like be honest with myself and ask like why, why does my spirit feel so bothered? It's because all you see on there are toxic relationships. Chaos. But it's entertainment, you know what I'm saying? But a lot of women, like I said, actually learn from this stuff. Just like when I was a kid, I was learning from these TV shows. So imagine the new generation, they're learning from these TV shows, the love and hip hops and all of this stuff that's not even real. It's just drama. It's like, why don't they show us healthy relationships? On most of these shows, you might have one couple that has a healthy relationship. And I'm not saying the perfect relationship, because no relationship is perfect, but your relationship can be imperfect and still healthy. You understand what I'm saying? There's a healthy way to have disagreements. But usually we see the most. We see them doing the most. And it's time for us to like let go and really be honest with ourselves and ask ourselves, where did we learn these behaviors from? And to let them go. You don't have to repeat them. You get what you give. If you're always only giving fussing and fighting and, negative energy, a bad attitude, then that's what you're going to get. But once you become a positive person, number one, you're going to repel anybody that's not on that. So the type of people that you hang around are going to change naturally because you change. It's not about trying to change other people. It's about you changing yourself. And ask yourself, why are you attracting certain people if you don't like the people that you're with? There's something in you attracting them. But outside of that, you becoming a more positive person, you loving yourself, you're going to attract different people. And you're going to put that energy out there. And that's another big thing. A lot of black women have been taught not to love themselves. We got to love ourselves first. You can't expect a black man to love you if you're hating yourself, if you're always insecure. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You screaming at him because he looked at somebody's ass. Like, come on. You accusing him of cheating because you got trust issues. Because you don't think you're good enough. You don't think you're worthy. So you think that every man is going to go and cheat on you. you projecting onto that man. Self-love is important too. And I have compassion with us sisters. Listen, sis, I understand. Between the commercials, the TV shows, like so many different things have taught us not to like ourselves. To feel like we at the bottom of the barrel. To feel like we're worthless. The music, our own black man belittling us, and trust me, I understand. I was there. But I started to realize that I cannot give these people the power to tell me who I am. I cannot give these people, these advertisers, these marketers, these singers, these television directors and producers the power to tell me who the hell I am. I tell me who I am. I am beautiful. I am worthy. You have to do that for yourself. You cannot put that power in somebody else's hands to tell you who you are, to tell you that you're beautiful. You can't make that a man's responsibility to make you feel beautiful, to make you feel whole. That's your job. And once you start loving yourself, you will let go of all that jealousy and envy anyway, because you will realize your worth. So there is that too. Because when you don't feel worthy, when you don't love yourself, you're going to be projecting that to that man, and he's going to get tired of that. And black men, especially those raising black daughters, understand that the world has been out to get us for a while. And I'm not saying that from a place of victimization. I'm saying it from a place of awareness. So you make sure that you're the first one to tell your daughter how beautiful she is, how valuable she is in this world. To build her up at home so that when she goes out, the world cannot tear her down. I'm a realist. Yes, there are many campaigns and different things out there that tells the black woman that she is not worthy, that she is ghetto, that puts other things above her. And this has been going on since what? Slavery, since before slavery. But many of us are still feeling the remnants of slavery from our ancestors, the brown paper bag and all these different things like that. It was real. There was a lot of different things that happened. Like, I can't even get into all of it with this video, where black people started to not like themselves, primarily because of the oppressive conditions. It was like the blacker that you was, the harder your life was. And that affected the mentality of many black people. But once again, we have to take back our power, understand that that is an illusion. Race is an illusion. You take back your power by not caring about that and understanding that it is an illusion. And that if you are hating yourself based on the color of your skin, that you're still lost and stuck in that illusion. Because it's not real. It's based on false teachings. White supremacy. Control. But only you have the power to let it go by seeing the truth. This video is to empower both the Black man and the Black woman to help you have better relationships by really understanding the truth of what's going on. Because the powers that be have tried to put us against each other, and it's worked for a long time. That blame game, it needs to be done. It needs to be over. Because on both sides, there's work that has to be done. And we can learn a lot from other cultures and from other races. If you stop judging and pay attention, because they weren't under the same oppression. Many of them were taught the right way to do it. So while you're judging, you can be learning a few things. We can all learn some things from one another. I'm serious. Black women, maybe you need to have, more Caucasian friends, more Latina friends, so they can put you on. Me personally, I love like different cultures. You know what I'm saying? I love having me a little Latina. She can teach me a few of her moves. I'll teach her a few of my moves. It's time for the sisterhood. And if somebody does want to date outside the race, who cares? We should all be able to date whoever we want to date. But the point of this video is for you to stop telling yourself that Black men are just like, they're betraying us and all this other stuff. It's not that. They're going where they feel wanted. They're going where they feel valued. As any person would. And so Black men and Black women, when we start valuing each other, we'll see more Black relationships flourishing. We'll see more Black families stand together. But think about it. Why have many Black families fallen apart? The arguing, the fussing, the fighting, the disrespecting one another. I hope you guys really understand what it is that I've been trying to say here. I hope that you can take something away from this. Once again, Black men, if you want a feminine Black woman, she needs to feel protected. She needs to feel safe. You're going to have to pull your weight. Yeah, some of you got to grow up. She shouldn't feel like your mama. That's not what she's there for. So if you want a woman who's in her feminine energy, then do what you can to pull your weight. You got to go back to school, go back to school. You got to get some new skills, get some new skills. But understand that when she's frustrated, it's because she's not feeling safe. She's not feeling in her natural, she's not feeling like her natural state, which is to rest, to relax, and to nurture you, not to baby you. And like I said, if you are in between jobs and stuff, I get it. Things happen. But understand there's other ways that you can support her through that time of her having to pull the weight. And Black woman, You want a man that's in his masculine energy. Build him up. Don't tear him down. Especially when he's already down. Don't kick him. You're just going to push him down further and push him away. That does nothing. Arguing, fussing, and fighting every day. Why you ain't got a job? That doesn't help. Build him up. Offer to put in some applications for him. Support each other. And let go of all this racism stuff. Okay? We need to evolve as a race, and staying stuck in that paradigm, it's not going to cut it anymore. It's not going to cut it anymore. It's time to let it go. Heal. And trust me, it goes deep because our ancestors' blood runs through us. So a lot of the battles that you're fighting, baby, it's not even your battles. You're still holding on to the pain of your ancestors. But guess what? You can help heal them by you choosing not to continue with that mindset, not to continue feeling like a victim. You can free your ancestors. You can free them. So the best thing for you to do is to start asking yourself, why am I triggered? What is really going on? And I guarantee you it's going to come down to some type of self-hatred. And the way that you can overcome and heal from that is by you taking back the power and realizing that, you know what, I have been giving society the power to tell me how I should feel about myself, to tell me how I should feel about the color of my skin, to tell me how I should feel about where I come from and who I am. When actually I have the power. And every day when I look in the mirror, I'm going to tell myself how beautiful I am, how beautiful my skin is. I'm going to choose to love myself. That's how you take back your power. And I'm going to choose to stop judging people by the color of their skin. I'm going to see them as souls. Because that's what we all are, souls. It's time to set ourselves free. I love you. Black woman, black man, you were so beautiful. You were so powerful. You were free. Allow yourself to be free. You don't have to carry that pain of your ancestors anymore. You don't have to keep reliving what they went through. It's all about your perception of how you choose to see the world. You change your perception. You will slowly change the world around you.